Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your monthly forecast for November for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Your sign is one of the most dramatic members of the Zodiac. Part of this is because you're fire, but it's also because you're mutable. That means you can be flexible, but also initiate things very quickly. Now you have an opportunity to really reach for the stars this month in the guise of Venus, which joins your sign on the 2nd. Venus then goes alongside your ruling planet Jupiter from the 12th through to the 17th. This is really star quality in person personified. You can also be very fortunate for your love life, or if you're a creative person, your talents can draw some magical attention across that group of days. But then the Sun joins you on the 23rd, and then there is a new moon in your sign on the 26th. So all of that can help you to bring your natural energies to bear. All about galvanizing people around you. It's all about being brave, on the front foot and dynamic. But it's just the case, Sagittarius, that there are other parts of your zodiac that are still rather sheltered, as the Sun and initially Mercury are in your sector of the 12th house, which is very much about reflection. Also, Mercury's in retrograde through to the 18th of this month. Fortunately, Mars is in a much livelier and more sociable location, but that is in conflict with Pluto in the first 9 days. This could see you having some kind of tete-a-tete with a friend around a financial matter, or perhaps the conflict will be within yourself about your future plans. You may feel a degree of sensitivity or pressure from this particular aspect, but I think it's being primed more than anything by last month's new moon. Now, new moons are generally very positive, but the 12th house new moon in Scorpio was in opposition with Uranus in your 6th house. So it's possible that your own psychological makeup and outlook at this time could feel very changeable, particularly because of Uranus's influence. So as you enter into this month, if you do feel challenged by anyone, particularly around those longer term plans, it would be understandable if you did feel a bit defensive. But just be aware with Mercury retrograde that it would be so easy to be oversensitive or actually take something the wrong way in a way which is quite out of character for you. Pleasingly, however, although there is a quarter moon on the 4th, which again cautions you not to jump to conclusions or to ignore any gossip doing the rounds, from the 5th through to the 11th and the 11th through to the 17th, the Sun actually forges a very positive link to both Saturn and Pluto. If you can have the patience to work through any sensitive issues which do come up this month, and particularly in the early part of the month, and just be very calm about confronting them, sorting them through, and then storing them in the appropriate box of completion, that will be a very positive process for you. One of the more challenging aspects of Sagittarius behaviour, and I am a Mars and Saturn Sagittarian, is that we can be inclined to perhaps want to move on to the next exciting new venture, even when things have got a little bit painful. But if there are past issues or emotions that are evoked this month, or there are tender conversations, don't try to push them away or deny them or sweep them under the proverbial carpet. It just won't be healthy. So ventilate your deepest feelings, and it could be so positive for you. Now, it is true to say that on the 12th there is a full moon, and that's going to be evoking the same energies as that new moon did in its opposition to Uranus. So if you are feeling less energized than you would like, or your work is less satisfying, or you feel that there are people around you that you can't entirely trust and rely upon, just try to work through the processes. Again, just embrace it. You can't make life perfect, but what we can do is try to just receive the information, the emotional information. And if that means being more aware of your own vulnerabilities, so be it, because that's okay. It's okay to not be 100% strong. And with Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, it may feel that you're a bit isolated or that other people are not tuning into you quite as you would like. All this begins to change on the 19th, however, because then Mercury goes direct, Mars moves into the sign of Scorpio, which for you, it's true, it is your 12th house, but it's a very punchy area. But there's also a quarter moon on that day in your sister fire sign of Leo. And that's kind of saying to you, look, if there are tender issues to unpick them, but don't blow them out of proportion. Keep them to yourself or share with a trusted confidant. Once the sun moves on the 23rd into your sign, it will all start to make sense. Also from the 12th to the 17th, as I said before, there's a glorious link between Venus and Jupiter, which can bring a marvellous event to bear. But once the sun moves, you're going to come into the present. Some of that anxiety will start to ease away. You're going to feel more self-assured. Your physical vitality will pick up. Also on the 26th, when the new moon occurs in your sign, this is a chance to recast your identity with the lessons and the knowledge you've gained earlier in the month in a much more thrusting and dynamic way. Venus also moves on the same day into the sign of Capricorn. This can be very good news for you financially. So as the month comes to a close, a good news story can occur. It is true that Mars then goes into an opposition with Uranus as the month closes. So if someone does raise a subject that you find to be a little contentious, or it does really hit on a tender spot within you, try not to get too frustrated or irritable. This particular opposition in this part of your scope could make you feel potentially see your emotions very close to the surface. Mind, if you need to go and hug a tree or have a good stamp or throw a pillow around in your bedroom, that would be a very healthy thing to do. But once you get to the end of this month, you are going to be moving into a new dawn that is going to be so positive for you. There is just this tender transition that you need to make, but there's still some glorious opportunities for you to dazzle others this month. If you'd like to know what 220 would hold for you beyond your zodiac sign, based on your time, date and place of birth, you can order your forecast for the year, get 30% off, and if you order it this year, get the rest of this year free by clicking the link beneath this video.